All right, everyone, happy Monday. King 5 Meteorologist Adam Claibon here with you as we get ready to go into this pretty active period. We've seen quite a bit of snow for the mountains, or at least one specific location over the weekend. We're going to talk about which spot that was, but even a few of us saw a few snowflakes here today, and that will be a possibility again heading into the day for tomorrow in the lowlands, but there's going to be a lot of snow in the mountains, and that's going to be our major focus. And we have some new advisories, some new alerts, and some new warnings, a blizzard warning that has been issued for the Olympics and the Cascades. So we're going to talk about that. But we also have some advisories and alerts in effect even right now, heading into Monday night and early into Tuesday. Winter storm warnings out for generally more the North Cascades from Stevens Pass northward until 5 o'clock into early Tuesday morning. Overall, the storm totals is going to be between about a foot to a foot and a half. I think for tonight into early tomorrow, another half a foot to maybe 10 inches of snow still yet to come. Going to be some breezy winds. We felt those today even in the lowlands with some chilly air that was around. And the advisory that's in effect, that purple color, well, that's for areas closer to Snoqualmie Pass and farther south where, 6 to 10 inches overall with this system. I think an additional 3 to 6 here as we go throughout the night and early in tomorrow. That's going to hang with us until 5 p.m. heading into the day on Tuesday. So yeah, we got some pretty active weather to go, and that's only the beginning. As we head on into the latter part of the day on Tuesday, stronger winds, heavier snow will develop throughout Tuesday evening, Tuesday night, and into the day on Wednesday. First alert days out because of that for both that evening and heading into the Wednesday time frame. Might extend into Thursday. We'll see once we get some more information in, but definitely still expecting some mountain snow to be around. Maybe some slightly higher snow levels at that point, but then our numbers start to come back down in terms of snow levels later on into Friday. And I think overall we're going to keep areas around and north of Stevens Pass in the form of snow for a lot of this time. Speaking of Stevens Pass, big winner for the snowfall here over the past 24 hours, closing in on a foot and a half of fresh snow, and that doesn't include what we've seen here throughout the afternoon and what we're going to have here into the night. Elsewhere between about 3 to 6 inches, and we should see a bit more here as we head on into the night. But as we look at Snoqualmie Pass, it's going to be kind of interesting if you're trying to drive across the passes. Definitely give yourself a lot of extra time there and at Stevens Pass. And then up this way around Paradise, you can see a lot of snow has fallen here over the past 24 to 48 hours. Quieter as we look up this way around Bellingham. Maybe a little ripple on the water because of that wind that's up there. Chilly, but little, if any, snowflakes really popping up. The temperatures have made their way well above freezing this afternoon. Got to see some sunshine there, though. Not as much there around Granite Falls, but a lot more up this way around Port Angeles. Beautiful blue skies. Just a chilly air mass to go along with these clear skies that we have there, and some of the partially broken clouds that we have here around Tacoma as we get ready to head into our Monday evening and Monday night, and a deep dark cloud up this way around Everett. Convergence zone activity. Big reason for us seeing that there. And here around Seattle, our Queen Anne camera showing a little more sun as we get ready to end off our day here on Monday. 43 degrees, but when you factor in that 18-mile-per-hour wind from the southwest, boy, does it feel a lot colder. We head into the night. You can see limited moisture around, so even though you might notice a sprinkle or two in a few parts, we're not going to have a lot of rain really around the area. And temperatures will drop into the 30s, so some other areas like around parts of Skagit County, Whatcom County, you might see a few snowflakes mixing in early into tomorrow morning, depending on how much moisture we have to play with. But here are your numbers right now, just before we get ready to head into the 5 p.m. hour on Monday, and temperatures are right around the low 40s, so it's been a chilly day, but all those numbers safely above freezing. And as we look at the radar, wanted to zoom into a couple of spots where we did have some interesting little pop-ups of some rain and snow trying to develop. You can see up this way around some of the foothill communities, Snohomish County, Skagit, and Whatcom County too. You can see that moving on by. Wasn't really anything too impactful, and we saw that move in and out of here fairly quickly. You can see down this way around Mason County, seeing a bit of that too, especially across some of the higher hilltops. Down across eastern parts of Grays Harbor County and heading into more Thurston County now. And you see that farther south too, across extreme southern parts of Thurston County and into parts of Lewis County. Way, here we are. You can see Stevens Pass, still the big winner right there. It continues to see more of the heavier snow coming on down. So we'll have this being a part of the forecast as we go throughout the night. Low pressure system, though, as it makes its way off of the coast, that's really going to start to pump in a lot more of that moisture. Let's talk about this, though. This is what we're going to be dealing with later on into Tuesday evening, Tuesday night, and into Wednesday. A blizzard warning has been issued for the Olympics and the Cascade Mountains. Now, What you need for blizzard warning criteria is that those wind gusts are at or above 35 miles per hour for a prolonged period of time. We're talking 3 hours, if not more. And to go along with that too, you also need the reduced visibility because of the snow, whether it's falling or whether it's just being blown around. We expect both of those to be taking place here as we head on into that time. That warning with us until 11 p.m. heading on into Wednesday. You can see at least maybe a foot or 2 feet of snow on the way, if not even more in a few spots. And we're going to see those visibilities less than a quarter of a mile. Now on top of that, we also have winter storm watches out until 11 a.m. on Thursday morning. Again, we could see some of this extend into that time. It's just that we probably expect to see some of the strongest winds as we head into tomorrow night and into the day on Wednesday. We'll see if the National Weather Service sees fit to extend that into more of Thursday as far as the blizzard warning. But right now we have the winter storm watches in effect starting up at 5 o'clock tomorrow morning and going until 11 a.m. on Thursday. And again, some pretty decent amounts of snow will be ahead. All right, let's look at our future wind gusts. You can see for this evening and tonight, some gusts up to 20, 25 miles per hour. We've been noticing those breezier winds here throughout the day today, and you'll see the same again tomorrow. I won't say tomorrow is a complete repeat of what we had today, but it is going to be fairly similar until we head into the evening hours. Once we hit that 4, 5, 6 o'clock hour, that's when things will start to ramp up a little more as far as the winds out towards the coast, and we'll start to see things move their way eastward as we head on into early Wednesday morning. Then a bit of a break there. You can see early into Wednesday, there's not too much wind out there, but this is, again, leading up to when we see this heaviest moisture and the system itself move on through. Gusts getting up closer to 40, 45 miles per hour and starting to blast through as we head into Wednesday evening and Wednesday night and really ramping up and whipping the wind around. And yeah, the snow for the mountains, that will be whipped around too, reducing those visibilities. As we look at some of the snow that we're expecting tonight, here we are at 7 o'clock. You'll notice right there around Stevens Pass, convergence zone activity really continuing to keep going, and that's what's going to help us with some of the higher totals there throughout tonight and into the day for tomorrow morning. Then we get that break. Again, not much moisture around as we go throughout a good portion of the daytime hours. By the evening and heading into the night, this is when we start to see a bit more of that snow beginning to spread out, becoming a bit more full across the Olympics and the Cascades, and we just keep that going on into more of Wednesday there. You can see early in the morning, 5 to 6 o'clock, we started to see that moving in. Then we get this big push of some moisture coming in from off the coast, and that's what's really going to ramp up some of the rain totals that we're going to see with this system as we head on into that time, because this will be part of some atmospheric river moisture, and it's typically a lot more mild, but we're on the northern edge of it. So even though there's a warmer air mass attached to it, with us being pretty cold already ahead of it, and yes, being on the northern edge of it, it is going to help to supply us with not only just the warmer, not only the heavier precipitation, but we'll have the colder air in place to help to produce some of the higher snow totals that we could see with it. Albeit, yes, we are going to see snow levels rise as we head on into this point later on into Wednesday evening and Wednesday night, but it's just not going to be quite to the level where we're going to see all of that switch over to rain. And the brief period that we do have of a switch over around Snoqualmie Pass, maybe even Stevens Pass, we'll switch that back over to snow early into Thursday morning between about 7 to 8 o'clock in the morning and keep that snow going. So let's talk about rainfall amounts here. It really starts to pick up as we head on into Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday evening. That's why you can see some of the higher totals farther south between 1/2 inch to 1 inch, maybe 1.5 inches. Higher totals than that out towards the coast with over 2 inches of rain possible there for those locations. And then the snow here. This is going to be through Thursday, and you can see that 1 to 2, possibly up to 3 feet of snow ahead for us. White Pass, you're going to be farther south, so you'll be closer to where some of the deeper moisture will be. At 55 inches, I think it might be a little high on the amounts that we might see. Might be a bit of an overestimation, but it kind of tells you the story that deeper moisture will be farther south. We just got to keep things pretty cold down that way in Paradise too. Higher elevation there, over 5,000 feet. I think there's a good chance that we see at least 3 to 4 feet of snow here on into Thursday, possibly even into Friday too. And as we look at this trend here as we head on into Thursday, you'll see it less in terms of that snow breaking out across especially the Cascades over Oregon. That higher snow level really going to do a number on what we're going to see as far as snowfall there at that point. And then for us, it kind of starts to trim it back a little bit too here into Washington State. We'll see that continue to shrink, but then start to burst back out again as the colder air does settle back in behind that disturbance. Heading on into Thursday, we get a bit more of that up this way around more the West Washington Cascades and across the Olympic Mountains. and we'll have that around even into Friday. Saturday into the weekend, much less in terms of activity at that point, and much more the storm track will be off to the north as we head on into that time too, as we head on into the weekend, at least as what it looks like right now. So again, as we continue all the way through the latter part of this week, 1 to 2, possibly 3 feet of snow for most of our resorts here on into Thursday and Friday. Overnight tonight, we're going to be chilly. We'll see those lows in the low to mid 30s, but without as much of the moisture around, that opportunity of seeing lowland snow not going to be quite as widespread or quite as easy to go about. And then once we head on into the day on Tuesday, we see temperatures back up above freezing. It's all rain for us here in the lowlands, and we start to really pile up on more of that mountain snow, especially once we head into the evening and into the nighttime hours. So yeah, we're going to stay in first alert mode, or go into first alert mode Tuesday evening, Tuesday night, and into the day on Wednesday because of some of the higher impacts that we expect across our mountain passes. And that means travel is going to be definitely not advised as we head on into those specific times. If you can get out before, or maybe just wait until later this week, better bet for you in trying to get across and not having to encounter much of a disruption in your driving at all. And overall too, if you just have any plans of just being up around those parts, be extra careful. There's going to be a lot of winds, very low visibilities, and driving conditions are just not going to be favorable at all. What is going to help out, though, is that we're going to build that snowpack, which has been so low here throughout the year, up a bit more as we go throughout the week. Very fun as we head on into the end of the week as far as people trying to get out and ski and snowboard, but there will be an avalanche risk too, so make sure to keep that in mind as well. Okay, everyone, we'll keep you updated here on King 5 Plus and King5.com. Right now, everybody have a magnificent Monday night, and we'll talk to you soon.